Hello everybody. Welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a great day. As always, likes, comments, and subscribes are all appreciated as they help with the YouTube algorithm. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. Welcome back to another News I Missed, where I go over news I missed. Yeah. Another domino is apparently lined up to fall down the route to Bitcoinization on Wednesday. A former lawmaker of the Pacific Island nation of Tonga shared a play-by-play approach to adopting Bitcoin as legal tender. In a series of tweets, Lord Fusitia, a former member of parliament for Tonga, released an ETA for Bitcoin becoming legal tender in the country. Copying El Salvador's playbook, the move could onboard more than 100,000 Tongans onto the Bitcoin network. In his 5-point plan, the chairman of the Global Organization of Parliamentarians Against Corruption describes the adoption path, and is right there. There's a lot going on in that one tweet, but you can look at it if you want. I'm not reading out all that stuff. In a follow-up comment, apparently he said that the bill is modeled on almost identical to what El Salvador did a couple of... Was it? No, it wasn't a year at this point. It was like maybe half a year ago. Wow, time really flies. The announcement sowed the seeds for questions, predictions, and outright jubilation from Twitter. Before the Tongan set the record straight, he enthusiastically replied that the timeline for Bitcoin becoming legal tender could happen as early as November or December of this year, replying, "Boom, that's us, brother," in a tweet. If you were here about no more than 7 or 8 days ago, we had information from the president of El Salvador, who had I don't know if it was like simply a public comment or if he was actually on television. He announced that he believed that at least 2 more countries this year were going to be adopting Bitcoin as legal tender. And then we had news from the CEO of, I don't want to say the wrong company, but it was one of the prominent companies within the cryptocurrency space, who also announced that he believed by the end of this year that there would be 3 different countries who would be adopting Bitcoin as legal tender. So I assume this is one of the 2 or of the 3. The other really interesting part is that the president of El Salvador mentioned there's like a gigantic Bitcoin conference that happens every single year. I think it's literally just called Bitcoin Conference or some Bitcoin, I don't know, Bitcoin something. And apparently he said that he has a major announcement to announce there as well. So it just seems completely logical that we would continue seeing this move forward, especially as a lot of other countries are probably already logically into Bitcoin somewhere in the background, as we've had multiple news stories about things like that potentially happen, and or tons of speculation, and or sometimes people slipping who are actually in parliament who end up giving information away that these things are actually going to take place. So yeah, if this does end up happening, I mean, November, December is quite a while away. But I assume if it does end up getting passed or yada yada, we'll start hearing about it more around summertime. Very fascinating to see this all taking shape. I just assumed, not that I didn't think this would all happen, but it just seems weird that this is finally all taking shape, that the actual Bitcoinization of the world is happening, and this was all spoken about years ago, but, alas, here we are. Yeah, that's the Tonga news, and yeah, let's move on. Whoa, there we go. Next up, for some reason, this was also quite popular during the course of the week, but I didn't really get why it was so popular. Uruguay has gotten their first crypto ATM, and it may have taken a long time to arrive, but it has proven an instant hit, with reports claiming that the machine handled over 1,000 crypto transactions within the first hours of opening to customers late last week. Per the news agency EFE by Hola News, the machine was officially opened on Friday of last week in the southeastern town of Punta del Este in the Maldonado department. Okay. The ATM's installers are Invierto, a local crypto firm and token operator, and another firm called Urubit. I get like Uruguay, Urubitcoin. Okay. The machine is compatible with fiat as well as Bitcoin and Binance coin. That's a really weird choice. What? Urubit also worked in conjunction with Binance Uruguay trading platform on launching the machine. Dignitaries, including Carlos Encillo, the ambassador of Uruguay to... Okay, that's actually quite huge. The ambassador of Uruguay to Argentina were in attendance at the opening ceremony. Photos from the event showed a crowd gathered around the machine. I'm not clicking on that link. Is this the crowd gathering around the machine? I assume that's actually what it is. And so, one, it is significant, yes, that they have their first cryptocurrency ATM in the country. The reason why I didn't understand why it was so popular over the course of the week and why we didn't talk about it before is because for me, it was kind of just an ATM. I assume these people have other ways of buying it on the internet already and or have smartphones, but maybe this is like a more rapid, quick way. I'm not sure exactly because, like in a lot of countries, they have the, what's the thing? You can only buy cryptocurrencies if said cryptocurrency exchange is already legal within your country. So maybe that's actually what's going on there. We never get any real news from Uruguay or as far as like what their fiat currency is doing, how it's going economically over there. But I assume 1,000 crypto transaction within the first couple of hours. Also realizing that every transaction per person has to take around 2 to 3 minutes. You got to put your money in. You got to click what you want. It kind of takes a while to go through the entire thing. So, not insignificant at all, but it is a little, I don't know, maybe just for me, but I hope they continue to be able to get into the market. This is what's important, is to have these actual things. If you want to talk about building infrastructure, you have to also, at least in my opinion, you have to also make sure that other people around the world can get in as well. Like, would you want to be in crypto if it was just like the wealthiest people in the world? No, the entire market would be completely boring because you don't have any crypto. So anyway, that's the Uruguay news. And here's the actual tweet for it right here. So fantastic. Alrighty. Let's move on. I also just woke up, in case you couldn't tell. I mean, that's the common theme on this channel. I just woke up. So if I always look a little dizzy or kind of out of it, it's because my brain is still waking up. NBA players Klay Thompson and Andre Iguodala will apparently be taking a portion of their next salary in Bitcoin. Wow. And will be donating $1 million in Bitcoin each to fans. Like 2 individual fans are getting $1 million in Bitcoin. Anyway, the Golden State Warriors guard and guard forward announced on Monday. He said, "I'm with Bitcoin because I believe it's the future." This was said by Thompson in an announcement in a tweet. Thompson and Iguodala have partnered with Cash App. Everyone's partnering with I think that's the common thing. There were 3 other celebrities in December who had partnered with Cash App. It wasn't Lindsay Lohan. What's the woman who's always in the movies? She has red hair. Not Lindsay Lohan. She's older. I can't remember her name. Anyway, the point is everyone keeps partnering with Cash App. It's kind of, I guess, just the thing to do. Thompson and Iguodala have partnered with Cash App, the money transmitting and Bitcoin buying application owned by Block, which is led by Jack Dorsey, previously known as Square, to facilitate their salaries conversion. The app will also intermediate the donations, which are already live in the announcement tweets. They said, "Bitcoin is the future. Klay Thompson and I are both believers." Iguodala tweeted on the 10th of January, sharing his paycheck plans. Thompson and Iguodala are the latest in around 30 other celebrity athletes who have announced over the last couple of years that they are going to be getting paid in Bitcoin. So, yeah, I mean, it's kind of cool. I told you this was going to happen. It's just a matter of the dominoes actually falling. And also, even more so, here's another one. These are the celebrities who choose to come out to say that they are going to be accepting Bitcoin for their paycheck or for something else that they're actually doing. I'm going to assume that there's at least another 15, 20, 35, probably 40. And I mean, if you want to go across the entire scope of all the major sports in the world, it's probably over 100 people, like famous athletes, who are making sure that they're going to start getting paid in Bitcoin as well. And this also just kind of ties into the idea of Bitcoinization or hyper-Bitcoinization, where, and not that it has to happen this way, but it is going to happen this way, that the richest people will start getting paid in crypto. And it kind of trickles down, if you will. Not trickle down economics, because that doesn't work. But the idea of everyone else seeing that these people are making so much money with Bitcoin or getting paid in Bitcoin, it becomes an extra status symbol. Not even the fact that Bitcoin is unobtainable for the vast majority of people on the planet, an entire Bitcoin, even fractions of it. Very cool. We're going to hear some news about this probably next Tuesday or next Friday or next Wednesday after that, because it keeps happening over and over. There's once again, these are the people who actually come out in the open to say that they're doing so. It's kind of like whenever we get a major business who's like, we just put $800 million into crypto. And I'm like, now imagine all the other companies behind the scenes who didn't say anything, who didn't want a press conference, or who didn't want to alert other people that they actually are buying this much cryptocurrency because it might actually move the market. Anyway, yeah, wonderful. I'm glad some people in the the NFL, NBA have logic. I assume the other ones also have logic as well, but it's more of a, the future. Anyway, that's the NBA news. Didn't expect me to say that. And let's move on. Also, this was popular during the course of the week news, and I'm not really, literally not really sure why. Thailand is apparently fast-tracking its crypto tax plans as it readies regulations for digital asset traders this month in an effort to provide further clarity on crypto-related activities. The Thai Revenue Department's Director General has stated that clear criteria for calculating taxes on crypto trading profits will be finalized during this month. The statement comes less than a week after the Southeast Asian country's government unveiled plans to tax crypto 15% within the country. Thai Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha has instructed the Revenue Department to brainstorm the issue and provide clarification for investors and the public, according to a Tuesday Bangkok Post article. So, we went over before, because that was also very popular news that week, and I still don't understand why, that Thailand was going to be charging a 15% tax. I'm not sure if it was the news that they are going to be charging a tax and therefore it was unpopular news, or the fact that it's only 15% tax and therefore that's why it made more popular news headlines. I'm not really exactly sure or certain. The other thing that I didn't get is, over the course of the last week that we just passed, therefore news I missed, this was in the news nearly every day. Like this actual news that they were planning to finalize their crypto regulations, and it's like, oh, that's cool. Well, good luck to them. And then the next day it was in the news twice, and I was like, well, okay, sure, whatever, little bit of runoff. And then on Wednesday it was in the news even more, and I didn't understand why there was such a fascination with Thailand finishing their cryptocurrency regulations. Is everyone planning on moving to Thailand and I simply don't know about it? Is there something else that we missed in the news before about you understand what I'm saying? It was kind of weird. I didn't get why this particular portion of news made it into the popular category. I mean, it wasn't like Elon Musk news. Nothing's like Elon Musk news. That is the worst of the worst. Like every single website talks about it twice. But yeah, cool for them. I hope they do it correctly. 15% tax is not terrible at all compared to, wasn't France like 43% or 44 or something nonsensical? As it stands right now, as far as I can remember, Portugal is still 0%. There's a Latin American country that's also 0%. Am I mistaken? I probably am. And Germany also has 0% taxes. So, they're still in the winning race portion of it. So cool. Can't wait for these laws to be enacted that will have nothing to do with me. Start. Alrighty. Let's move on. Also quite popular during the course of the week, and brokerage firm eToro has introduced Metaverse Life, a new smart portfolio covering stocks and crypto assets from within the growing metaverse industry on Tuesday. The company stated that its goal is to offer a diverse range of investments made for long-term exposure. Currently included in the portfolio are Meta Platforms, the new company behind Facebook, Roblox, and other blockchain-based metaverse developments like Decentraland, The Sandbox, and Engine. There are also a few companies listed in the portfolio that aren't exclusively blockchain-based but still have contributed to the metaverse adoption: Microsoft, Amazon, and NVIDIA. This says nothing about if they're actually buying up. So the new trend, remember in 2017 and 2018, a lot of companies were coming forward and either changing their name to like something blockchain or announcing that they were also going to be launching their own ICO, whatever the actual thing might be. For some reason, the trend as we begin this new year in the very end of December is to allow customers or to offer them a portfolio, like a Metaverse portfolio. So you yourself don't have direct exposure to, let's say, Decentraland or to Sandbox. You're not actually in that world, but you have a slight stake in that company that is in the metaverse, and that's what this portfolio is built off of. A little bit of confusion because I do not believe that Decentraland, Sandbox, or Engine are currently public on any stock exchange. So it's unclear if eToro is simply buying up tokens on your behalf for Metaverse life. Not really sure. But this is... It's not that I don't think that this is not going to do well. It's more of a... There's this constant idea of derivatives because the old traditional financial world is constantly trying to encroach on the cryptocurrency space and say, no, this is how things have to be done. So instead of you having direct access to or actual exposure to these cryptocurrency markets or to these worlds, or you holding tokens that represent you actually have a space in this platform, you are instead given stocks and or not bonds, but in some sort of way to say, hey, you understand what I'm saying? It's kind of weird. It's kind of like really wanting to get into Bitcoin, but instead you end up buying pieces of a Bitcoin futures ETF and you're like, wow, I am secure in my investment. It's a little weird. I think these will become popular for a while, but then when people, once again, my opinion, when people realize, hey, I could just, not financial advice, when people realize, hey, I could simply just be holding Sandbox tokens and or I assume Engine also has a token and or Metaverse tokens, what's the point? Because you would see a much higher rapid increase than you would in actually holding the stocks of Facebook. Like Facebook, realistically, like when you talk about the actual movements in the cryptocurrency space, you can have a coin that is $3 go up to $28 over the course of a year. It's kind of unlikely to have Facebook / Meta stock. I don't know what the current stock price is, but for that to go from 100 to 1,800 over the course of a 12-month period is not as likely. So I don't know. Anyway, this is the new growing trend. This is not the first time that we've heard of something like this, but I assume that it was more popular because eToro is doing it and or backing it, and therefore Metaverse life. Cool. So that's the eToro. I love that these people are standing on a platform looking at the world around them. It's a little, it's not, anyway, okay, I'll shut up. All right, that's the eToro news. Woo! Yeah, let's move on. And to finish things off, Latin American real estate platform Laos has made its first home sale for Bitcoin 2 months after it announced it would start accepting cryptocurrency for payments in Colombia and Mexico. A Peruvian woman exchanged 5.78 Bitcoin for an exclusive apartment located in one of the most highly valued areas of the city, Tulum, Mexico's Riviera Maya, the company announced on Wednesday. One of the aspects that has seduced us, when incorporating this payment method, in addition to this ease it represents, was a possibility of breaking down geographical barriers. All right. This not only made us proud, but also shows the way we buy a home is changing. Not only do we buy it digitally, breaking geographical barriers, but now we do it by breaking monetary boundaries. So the news is that the company who told us that they were going to be accepting cryptocurrencies 2 months ago accepts cryptocurrencies and then sold a house for Bitcoin. Also quite, on a scale of like Elon Musk popularity, this was like a 3 out of 10, but it was still also in the news. So I assume in the future, many transactions, especially when it comes to real estate, are going to be in cryptocurrencies. This was a very big thing in 2017. I don't know if a lot of you were here or remember this, where there was one documentary online, and I can't remember the name of it. It was something from the BBC or Channel 4 or something British, somewhere around there, where they were showing this guy kind of like living the high life, if you will. And he was like buying caviar and all. It was a really weird video, but I still watched it, of course. They were showing all these things that he was doing, and they were asking him, hey, how'd you get your money? And apparently, I think he had gotten into Bitcoin around like 2012. He sold around 2017 and was kind of like living the high life kind of thing. But he was also like buying property in Bitcoin as well. Like the company was accepting it per se, but they were automatically transferring it back into pounds. So I assume if the cryptocurrency market does in the future continue to go up, we're going to have a lot more sales like this. But maybe is this the first time in Mexico that this has ever happened? I'm not really sure, because it feels like it's just kind of like the first time that this company ended up having a contract like this. I don't know anymore. The news is always very confusing to me. So cool. I hope she is very happy with her exclusive, I assume, luxury apartment. No photos of it anywhere, but wow, that's cool. Yeah. Yeah, I do hope that you've all enjoyed. Geez, look how full this bus is. Like, it is full. It's really weird to see like the actual transactions. Like, all these people are waiting for Ethereum buses, and they also already have people inside of them. And Bitcoin is okay. Bitcoin's transaction fee is 25 cents. That's not bad at all. Maybe it's because the world is sleeping. I do hope that you've all enjoyed. I do hope that you all are having a great, oh, that one's gone. A great day, a great morning, great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope that it is absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching and or listening, and I will most certainly, my notes hit the mic, be talking to you all soon. See you.